Brothers and sisters, I'm out here on another lovely day in my lovely art gallery. But I have to explain something to you. I recently watched a lecture from Dr. Sebi. Dr. Sebi is a fantastic mentor, and he's able to break things down so you can understand it too. So that's the reason why I'm breaking this down. Now I'm talking about is being genetic predisposition. So how do I break this down to a 6-year-old? Let me think about it. Genetic predisposition. So in order to find out about the way you are made, which has really made me think today, you need to literally go back to your roots. Now, what I see as a society and what I love about Oakley is where I come from, people are really judgmental and they're real assholes. But here, they'll eat you up and spit you out. They don't play games here because they have a good solid foundation of a community. Now this goes back to what I was saying, genetic predisposition. We are predisposed to disease by our genes. For example, sickle cell anemia. Black people seem to get it. We are all Israelites, yes. But yes, that is one thing. HIV, another thing. That some people actually are. I was speaking to a person, an individual, a friend, a brother actually, and we were talking about this. If you don't know what time it is, well, now you do. So me and my brother, we were doing work on a contract out in Moroso in Florida, and we were talking, and he goes, "Did you know that some white people it's not just white people, some people can not get HIV?" I'm like, what are you talking about, man? So this trickles down through so many levels, in which I can speak on this. Now, here's another example. And this goes back to the Odysseus. He's a little smart ass. Odysseus, the smart ass. And so you cannot give Indians what they call fire water. Why? Because actually on a lot of reservations you can't drink the fire water. Why? Because they were not meant to drink it. So when it comes down to genetic predisposition, for example, this is where we all as a society need to take the time and go back to our roots. For example, I'm going to give you a good example, a good analogy. Now, in Florida, there is a nice population of people from South America, and in California, there's a really nice population of South Americans. Yes, there is, and they're wonderful. And what I was getting at is I'm noticing that they're so in touch with their roots. And they know exactly what their body needs all day, every day, because that's the land they grew up. The Mayans, the ancient Aztecs, the Indians, my brothers and sisters. Okay, we are all one. We are all unified. However, genetic predisposition is no joke, and that's the reason why I urge you, go back to your roots and find out what did the people in your family tree genetically, what did they eat? Find out what they ate, because what's going on right now, and how Dr. Sebi broke it down, he said that people are not, this is the way I interpreted it. He said that people need to go back to their roots, and they need to find out, basically a lot of things are being genetically modified. One, that's a big problem. Agriculture. It's not a problem. No problems with agriculture. But that's neither here nor there. You have to go back to find out what your family ate. Like, for example, I am excuse me. This is the reason why I would recommend, actually, somebody getting a DNA test. Who cares? They already have your DNA, whether you like it or not, so it doesn't matter. Just get it done if you want. That's how 23, oh, that's how they do it. So that's how 23andMe does it. That's what they do. They break it down, and that's the reason why they can tell you how you get sick. Oh, and I'm just now discovering this right now off the top of my head. See, I used, I don't know, it doesn't matter. And I found out that I had a couple surprises, but shout out to my Aries babies. Anyways, my point is, what did the Irish eat? Potatoes. I'm Irish. So you need to go back to your roots and find out what your ancestors were all connected. We are all connected. I'm gonna verify that right now. We are all connected. Okay. Through community. That's why they say communion. Oh my God, dude. You're thinking about that boy be snapping. You have to understand, my children, that life is a riddle that's not really meant to be cracked. But I cracked it like Humpty Dumpty. Dude, I'm telling you, every little riddle you hear has a whole significant. I was just thinking about it. What was the riddle I was thinking of? I'm telling you, it's on another level when you start thinking and seeing things from a different angle. From every angle, every perspective. So what I was saying was, a lot of Indian reservations, especially in Alaska, you can't drink in Alaska, because what people do is, and it's not just Indians, it's everybody has, okay, gets crazy off this stuff, obviously. But some can handle it, some can't handle it. So that's the reason why they leave it off the reserves in Alaska, brothers and sisters. I can explain it to a 6-year-old. Take that out, don't tell nobody. So in Alaska, the way Dr. Sebi said it is, try giving food like the food that they in Africa to an Eskimo and see what happens. They're gonna get sick. It's just, I mean, it might not, it's common sense, but it's not common knowledge. That's what it is. It's common sense, but it's not common knowledge of my children. And that's the reason why I'm here, to break things down for you, because if I don't break it down, I don't know who's gonna break it down for you, to be honest with you. Brothers and sisters, I love you. I appreciate you so much. I am here for you all the time. If you have any questions, ask me. Just ask me in the comments. Ask me anything. And I'll be able to tell you. And if I don't know about it, I'll study it. And I'll tell you more about it. The thing is, when you have this whole overstanding on the earth, you're able to break things down into such a nice, easy way of explaining it when you have a bird's eye view of the world. Listen, America, I have to say, is spectacular in a whole another sense. Now, I think, again, that's the reason, we are the melting pot. America is the melting pot, which I'm so proud to say. A lot of people take this country for granted, but you know how many people are out there really suffering right now? Really suffering? If you think you have it bad and you're watching this, shit. I've had it bad. Everybody has their own story. That's why they call it his story. It's history. It's your story to tell. If you want to tell it or not. See, I've always wanted to write a book about my life, but you know what? I'm not only going to write a book about my life. This is my life right here. Breaking things down, making it happen. Again, back to genetic predisposition. We're predisposed to things at an early age. For example, okay, here's a prime example. Back in the ancient times, the ancients, what they would do is they would take the black plague and they would take the bodies. You feel me on this? They would take the bodies and they would literally sling them over castles that were under siege. Yo, I be thinking like a warrior all day. So what they would do, so they would put these castles under siege, and then they would fling a dead body over into the castle, and then to get everybody sick. So they tried to remove the dead. They did the same thing to the Indians. when the settlers came here, the Indians had a whole kosher vibe. Okay, now we're united. We are the united. That's why they say the United States of America. Because we are united now. Back to what I was saying. What was I saying? So, for example, when the settlers, my children, came, they were, I'm gonna say, this is my story, they were a little more advanced, obviously, because at the time they were riding in ships. See, there was a kosher vibe. That's why I want to look back and find out what happened. Like, why is it? I be thinking off the top of my head right now that what happened to white people? I'm not gonna put this on YouTube, but like, what the fuck did we do to the world, and why? Where does our roots really stem from? I want to understand. Everybody else seems to know. I was taught this in Virginia, but they didn't really go too deep. Oh, all they went into was colonial day. Colonial day. Fuckers. Back to my story. Speaking of which, I'll make a little spliff tail for you. Shoot, I ain't got later. Back to my story though. If you have ever seen or not seen the movie, it's a freaking awesome movie. One of my favorites, by one of my many favorites. I love movies, obviously. Obviously. But I learned from the best. So there's a movie called My Children that you probably have not seen. One, Roots is a really good movie, and also, what's it called? Dancing with Wolves. Whew, if you haven't seen that movie, you haven't lived.